NBC announcing it will not air the 2022 awards over a lack of diversity. Joining us live to react is Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren. Tomi, good morning. I'm sure you have an opinion on this. The stage is yours. What is it?
Well, I'll tell you this, guys. We have finally done it. We have reached peak wokeness in the United States of America because Hollywood has begun to cancel itself. It was only a matter of time. You know, the cancel culture mob, it was eventually going to come for Hollywood, and now it has. But at the end of the day, they talk about it being because of a lack of diversity. And I know that diversity of everything but thought is important to these Hollywood elites. But quite frankly, I think it's more they looked at the dismal ratings of this year's Golden Globes. They looked at the dismal ratings of this year's Oscars, and they said, you know what? We really don't want to ride that train. We really don't want to bite that bullet. So what are we going to do? We'll use a woke virtue signaling concept, and we'll go ahead and cancel it for some reason. But I gotta say, I think it's just because no one wants to watch these award shows anymore, and this has to be an excuse, a cop-out to get out of broadcasting it.
It all comes down to the green in the end, but I must ask the transitive property question. If the left cancels itself, does that mean cancel culture is over?
You know, you would sure hope so. We would hope that the pendulum would swing the other way, because we know when these Hollywood liberals and these elites, especially our coastal elites, once they start losing jobs and opportunities, you would think that they would start to understand that cancel culture doesn't serve anybody. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure that they're going to realize it until it gets so bad, until it really slaps them in the face. But we are approaching that point right now. I think we are almost there. And I'm hoping that maybe California Hollywood entertainment is starting to wake up and realize that the majority of the American people, we're onto them. We're sick of it. We don't want to watch them anymore. We don't find them entertaining. Maybe get away from politics. Stick to what you do best, which is acting, singing, playing sports, and leave the politics to the people that know what they're doing.
I guess
and that's not Joe Biden, by the way.
Well, we'll talk about him in 1 second. I guess I just don't really understand the point of canceling it this early. Maybe I'm missing a part of the story. I'm not sure, but because it seems to me like you could come out with a statement and say, okay, we would like to make improvements before we air this in 2022. Here's what we're going to do. I don't know. I rest my case. Anyway, let's talk about Joe Biden here for a second, because, you know, there was an article posted in New York Magazine, and let's go ahead and pull up a quote from it. And this is from a source close to the White House. Quote, they may get criticism in think pieces about it, but at his 100-day mark, Biden is the most liberal president we've had, and the public thinks he's a moderate. That's a winning strategy to me. They're willing to accept that you're going to write this piece as long as they know that swing voters in Colorado aren't going to read it. What's your reaction to that?
You know, the left truly is shameless. And I know it seems like so long ago, but I remember the Democratic debates. I remember during primary season when all those candidates were standing on that stage trying to out-communist one another, trying to out-socialize one another. And that one person on the stage, though he often didn't know where he was at the time, he did seem like a moderate, and that was Joe Biden. And he beat them all. And he stood as the lone moderate on the stage, and that's why he was their candidate. But they knew that they had to put this shadow president of a man in the White House as a Trojan horse for the far left policies. And as AOC has repeatedly told us, how this White House, a source has told us just now, he really is somebody who is a puppet for the left. He will do whatever they tell him to do. Whether he is personally a moderate or not, it doesn't matter. He is ramrodding through their agenda. There is no unity. There is no consensus. There is no ability or even desire to include Republicans, conservatives, or half the American people in these plans and policies that are coming out of this administration. And the left loves this. And though they're not going to be able to get away with this forever because the American people are catching on to it, I do believe they're making changes to the rules to make sure that they have this grip, this stranglehold, this control on our country for generations. They're going to do that through immigration. They're going to do that through H.R. 1, the so-called For the People Act. They're going to do it through court packing. They're going to do it through ending the filibuster. At the end of the day, they want complete and total control. They had to fool us into that during the election process. They had to weaponize and exploit coronavirus to get it in, but now they've got that control, and they will never let it go, and they are laughing at half of this country for falling for it.
And Tomi, conservatives like you have been saying this on our air, that Biden is no moderate. You can review the tape from this very show. But before we let you go, you wanted to share your message for National Police Week. You have about 30 seconds. The floor is yours.
Yes, I know that there are so many Americans out there that support law enforcement, but for too long, law enforcement has been demonized, and the silent majority has been far too quiet about it, has been shamed into silence about supporting our men and women in blue. So every day, but especially in National Police Week, I would encourage all those folks out there that truly do support law enforcement, please stand up. Please show your appreciation and your support, because these officers and their families, they truly need it now more than ever. We can't change BLM, but what we can do is we can drown out these anti-police voices. We can be louder and prouder than ever, and our men and women in blue. I encourage everyone to do that. I know I certainly will.
Okay. Don't miss No Interruption with Tomi Lahren, only on Fox Nation. Tomi, thank you as always. Have a good day.